Okay, greeting. Here is part two on my thoughts on the climate change hysteria and the effects that that has on our youth and our children and young people in general. It is a part of, I interpret as a mental programming through fear based type of pseudoscience data. In that trauma and fear, the Democrats use it as leverage to create these little eco bots that are marching in the streets, and they're more open and perceptive to global mandates, global controls, less civil liberties, less freedoms, and those global agendas come into local government. For example, the Multnomah County Commissioner ladies a couple years ago, when everyone was all in fear and freaked out, outlawed all wood burning stoves and wood smoke. They made wood smoke illegal in Multnomah County. Nobody has a clue of what the hell's going on. They don't even know this is on the books now. And the ladies are kind of like, "Oh, did we do that? Yeah, you did that." The city commissioners actually, led by Carmen Rubio, who's trying to run for mayor and stoke up all these delusional, unfortunately mentally ill, climate change hysteria type of patients, the youth, by telling them that leaf blowers are going to kill them. Leaf blowers need to be banned. They're the work of Satan. And so they banned leaf blowers with Commissioner Rubio's guidance. There's a whole bunch of this crazy shit coming out. This is all coming down globally, trickling into the national politics of the state and, of course, our local communities where it matters the most. I want to read this real quick here. This is the Link Springer right here. Recent findings about climate change. Climate change affects child and adolescent mental health in many intersecting ways, including as a social and ecological determinant of health, a threat amplifier, and a source of trauma and distress. Single extreme weather events contribute to significant negative mental health consequences. However, subacute and chronic climate events also have mental health sequelae. Furthermore, awareness of the climate crisis is associated with emotional distress. Okay? So that right there is telling you that the programming and telling them they're going to die, telling them that these extreme weather events are the cause of their parents driving their vehicles all total, or cow farting, they're going to die because of cow farts. That's what Rep AOC rebranded. They tried to insert it because they didn't have any platform of their own. They stole the Green Party, which did not mean what they said. They adulterated it to mean, with this Green Party plan, this green agenda, morphed it into a bunch of lunacy, saying fossil fuels need to be banned, which means millions of people are going to starve in this country because fossil fuels is what farmers use to feed us with food. Rep AOC didn't know that. That deep thinker, the deepest thinking philosophical margarita mixer in all of the Bronx, didn't think about that. Cow farts? This is an agenda they're trying to bring on that has no merit in factual science. It's pseudoscience as they scream at us, being critics, pushing back with voices of dissent. We're the anti-science. Where's your science? Al Gore's been saying for 15 years the polar bears are all going to be dead. There isn't going to be any ice left up at the polar caps. There's more ice than there's ever been. The polar bears are now went from 12,000 to now 40,000 polar bears mating, thriving, eating, enjoying the ice. Mr. Al Gore, the pusher, snake oil salesman of fucking global change. So, see, I can't do that in 2 minutes. This is 4 minutes right here. So that is really significant to me, that one liner in this study, and I'll try to drop that in here on the show notes one way or another. I could log back in on my laptop and drop in the link. But furthermore, awareness of the climate crisis. This is what they're doing to kindergarten, first grade, second year. Oh, we're gonna die. It went from recycling to save the planet, which was total bullshit, but that's what it was in the 80s. Recycle your wine bottles, Portland Democrats, and God knows, lots of wine bottles in Portland Democrats, yellow recycling boxes. It's programming now into where the youth don't want to get married. They don't want to have children. Who's going to bring a child? We're all going to be dead. I'm not going to be able to raise a child. I can't have a real life. I'm not going to be able to have a house. Why should I go to college? We're all going to be dead in 7 years. This is what Rep AOC says. And one of her original 4 years ago, she was stoking up this hysteria and hype to try to make it present that she had some sort of a game plan, some sort of environmental agenda, which she had none. The entire Democrat Party had none. Like I said, I'm repeating, they had to steal it from the Green Party. They stole it from the Green Party. Now, the Green Party, to criticize them, didn't speak up and didn't separate that, no, it has nothing to do with cow farts. In fact, Jill Stein gets all weird at the Paris Accords and starts going along with some of this globalist jive and jargon. Right? Kind of suspicious of Dr. Jill on that level, right? That's another video. So the point is that if someone's stealing your platform, stealing what your think tanks and your brain trust came up with, which was common sense jobs program, not about shutting down cars, about making it an option, not a mandate to have EV cars, which there isn't enough supplies and resources or even batteries or even vehicles to meet the needs of 100 million people in the US. It's totally fucking delusional. Totally fucking delusional. But it was that messaging that created, just like Elon's parroting right now. I'm not a conservative because I've made EV batteries. So, I'm left-wing and progressive. Always have been. I don't know why you guys keep calling me right-wing. I make Teslas that only a millionaire can afford at $100,000. How about those lithium batteries? Woo! Where are those resources coming from? Children in the Congo? Oh my! Children, slave labor in Africa? No problem with neoliberal Democrats. Hell no. At least it's not that nasty domestic fossil fuel coming out of Texas or Alaska. Whoa, and those grown adults making union pension jobs and profit sharing out of the Alaskan Petroleum Act, which is a lot like socialism. Alaskan petroleum profit sharing looks a lot like socialism, but you anarchos are all worked up. Capitalism's evil. Well, take a look at the Alaskan profit share, okay? And if you move up there, which is where all you anarcho-coms should go, immediately get yourself a slice of that fossil fuel petroleum profit share. Goddamn, we'll pay for your airplane tickets. Come on. Get up there to Alaska, call yourself a goddamn resident, start collecting those petroleum profit share checks. They exist. I'm not making this up. Alaska, under the beautiful flag, is goddamn socialism. With the oil. Looks a lot like Venezuela. But don't tell the conservatives that. These guys are going to lose their fucking minds. They're going to lose their shit. Don't ever use the word socialism. Don't ever use the word communism with these guys. It's profit sharing. And it's capitalism, goddammit. This is free market. And it is free market. And it is profit sharing. All the oil we need is in one spot off of Alaska and the Arctic. I don't know what the hell these crazed Sierra Club Greenpeacer activists have been raising such a stink in court orders and lobbying billions of dollars, lobbying, just handing out the bills in D.C. That's what your money does, Sierra Club and Greenpeace and all the rest of these corporate douches. I've worked for them all, I should know, 20 years ago. Fundraised for all those motherfuckers, including Ralph Nader's The Bergs. Shit, I was a field director of Osberg for years. Shut the hell up. I know what the hell's going on. They're all taking your money and all going into administrative costs. It all goes back to D.C., and it's really this neoliberal Democrat fundraising scheme of laundering your cash. They tell you it's an Oregon issue, it goes to D.C., and it goes into politicians' pockets. Okay? There's 9 minutes, and I didn't really mean to talk about that. There was one thing here else. Here's the Lancet, Planetary Health. And they're going through about all of this liberal framing of these doctors, the degrees, the PhDs, all this framing as these guys are being paid is to say that hurricanes and tornadoes and the flooding is traumatizing your children, making them sick, and even killing some of them with the flooding. Of course it is. Unfortunately, that's always happened. The planet's been a hell of a lot hotter. We know that from core samples. Even more of a killer is the planet has been a hell of a lot colder. And we know that from the same core samples at the poles. Very cold, like ice age cold, like you can't survive, there's no farming cold every 20 years. So it's batshit crazy to people like me that are on the outside. I've been on the inside of the environmental movements. Thank you. Green Party co-founder here in Oregon. I understand the environment. And my criticism of that we're making the children sick by scaring them to death with these messaging that they're all going to be dead and that CO2 is bad. It's not. CO2 is what we use to make things green. A farmer using a greenhouse pumps CO2 into that greenhouse so all of the plants in the greenhouse go kaboom, boom, boom, and grow 100 times faster than the rest of them. This is basic agriculture 101, 6th grade level, really. But instead, they're telling them they're all going to die. They can't eat meat because the cow farts are going to kill grandma. It's just everything. Kill the planet. Oh, all this shit that they're brainwashing the youth is creating low fertility numbers. It's turning a lot of them gay. Okay, I said that. And I don't have a study to back it up, but I've got solid speculation that the children don't want to have children anymore because the climate change has scared them so much, it scared them gay. Something like that. But this one right here from the Lancet, Planetary Health, it mentions a little bit of it. It's talking all about the mudslides are what's causing the trauma. No, it's the programming. It's the fear that you're pumping into them that creates the cortisol. There's a whole chemical thing. Dr. Gabor Mate, Aaron Mate's father, a lot of people don't know that they're connected. They are. Gabor Mate writes a whole bunch in the realm of hungry ghosts. In the realm, it's talking about addiction, talking about how trauma and cortisol creates addicts. That's exactly a part of what we're having with the spike of massive narcotic use during this whole COVID pandemic psychological operation of fear and hysteria. Grandma's going to die. Grandpa's going to die. You can't see them. They got to die alone in the hospital. They did that to us. You have to go to your home and stay in there in medical martial laws because it's going to kill you. You're all going to be dead. The children are like, what? We're going to die from a virus? Yep. Put your mask on. It feels like you're suffocating because you are. What kind of psychological damage is that going to do to children? Nobody thought about that? All this Portland Teachers Union? Nobody thought about? Nobody had a basic child psychology course that when you scare the crap out of children, it makes them sick? Emotionally, physically, and spiritually? This is basic shit. I'm a fucking artist. I spend time with thinner and oil vapors, and I know that. My 12-year-old, 13-year-old daughter knows that. She experienced it. And so did her girlfriends. They were traumatized. The amount of suicide discussions in those gamer chats spiked. My daughter had a number of girlfriends that were threatening to kill themselves in chat rooms during that pandemic because they were scared to death. They were told they're going to die. The brain begins to shut down and it starts killing the cells in the body. Even without the bioweapon, throw in the bioweapon and then that type of psychological operation. Programming. That has to change. And this is something that I'm very concerned about with Bobby Jr. being close to Trump. Same thing with Elon. I don't even really think Elon should be in the administration. Sorry, if that's what he wanted to do, to be, the ego and his inside little card playing. I know he's already as tight as can possibly be with these insiders. I don't really think he should be in there because he embraces this climate change. Elon's talking about he's in favor of carbon tax. So you want to tax people because of this imaginary pollution. Now, granted, we can still... conservatives are conservationists by heart. They like fly fishing. They like hunting. They like the woods. They don't want all this homeless shit dumped into their fucking areas. But it's happened in Oregon, happened all across the country, but it's happened right here in my state, in my backyard, with the tens of millions of pounds of garbage that's been pulled out of these illegal camps and dumped into a landfill. Not one Democrat's ever talked about that. Not one person running for office down at the city commissioner, down at City Hall, has ever talked about what that pandemic did to our landfills. In part because of policy, but because of the camps. That pandemic meant none of these people could get any drug treatment. Where's the drug treatment, Dad? We got to find a little more drug treatment for them. They couldn't access it. They shut down all the primary care unless it was related to this boogeyman COVID-19 SARS-2 bioweapon. A lot of people don't know that. I couldn't get into my chiropractic adjustments. I couldn't get into the acupuncture. I couldn't schedule anything. Everyone thought they were going to die. That creates a chemical reaction. Adrenaline, cortisol, which actually creates sickness and fuels these turbo cancers and turbo illnesses that are brought on by the unnatural, biolab designed viruses. COVID-19, SARS-2, it's multiple names. It's a bioweapon. Turns off the immune system. So we're seeing, like, there's no wonder there's HIV in the spike crown, right? No wonder we're having AIDS-like epidemics washing across the country and the world. Autoimmune disorders. Autoimmune deficiency, AIDS, AIDS. So, but this one here, I think it was talking about, there's studies, a reference, studies from Sweden, 97, 98, 99, and 100. Sweden, Canada, and Australia showcase how adolescents cope with the disruptions of by focusing on the problem or building meaningful around combating climate change. So they're going to spin that saying the way that you can positively amplify that is don't stop by programming that they're going to be dead in 7 years. As Rep AOC at her little forum, somebody goes, we've got to eat the babies. We're going to have to eat the babies because we got to stop the babies we got to stop the population. What? We got to eat them because there's less food? Eat the babies came out of Rep AOC's, this is what I was going to mention before, out of her forum. She was having a forum. She's a total rookie. She's got the mic. She didn't correct the psychotic woman. Yeah, we're going to have to eat the babies. She reaffirmed it by saying, no, actually, we don't need to eat babies. We don't need to kill the babies because the population boom isn't the problem. They actually believe this. They believe the population is the issue in these closed-knit environmental circles. I've been in there. I've seen the forums. I've seen the email listservs. I've been in there debating and pushing back against the eugenics. And there's a whole bunch of good environmentalists that have been pushing back against the eugenics. It's not all a bunch of fucking whack jobs, but there's a lot of them, unfortunately. Dr. Jill is one too. Now, she's going to deny that. She'll say, I'm a medical doctor. I love the children. She used to push back 2012 about vaccinations in children, and they killed her. They hit her so hard. They attacked her so hard that it traumatized her, and she backed away from the entire vaccine issue from 2016 and even now in 2024. I haven't heard her mention it one time. Maybe she has. One time. What Bobby is doing is absolutely phenomenal. Standing up and speaking out, saying, where are all these child diseases coming from? He's not even spewing conspiratorial stuff yet. Sort of. Not. But, he's just stating the obvious. He's stating data, not conspiracy. He's stating this amount of youth, 50% of them are on psychotropics because you've terrified them to death that they're going to be dead from cow farts and climate change in 7 years. They're behaving accordingly to your programming. They're having they're taking major risks. They're having sexual relations with strangers, and they're turning completely and totally trans sex identities. Why not? Because they're no longer, the mission is to have babies. In fact, they're avoiding that at all costs. They're killing their babies when it accidentally happens. Instead of just having the babies and let's make some more children, American babies. No. They believe they've been programmed. Population's the problem. Not Bill Gates. Not these guys. Not World Economic Forum. No. Those are the good guys. Fauci's the good guys. Wow, those jabs saved millions of lives. You ever read any studies? The mRNA experimental jabs were never inoculated with coronavirus family of any kind. No, it's gene therapy. Gene therapy. Gene therapy that, like chemotherapy, kills all your cells. Gene therapy, like, turns your natural T cells, killer cells, off. Much like an AIDS patient. So, did I even read this quote? It's not really as... It's talking about climate change and higher carbon dioxide concentrations. That's not the issue. You've got methane, you've got sulfuric acids from Tonga that's shot water vapors 52 miles. That's where all this water's been coming from. Some are even argue that's what raised the temperature. I don't even see that data connected to that. I argue for the last 2 or 3 years that we're seeing record cold temperatures in North America. That I have all the articles. CNN, all the mainstream. It's not some obscure conspiracy lunatic publication that's printing its own press for its own bias. What do they call that? The confirmation bias. It's not that. This is mainstream publications saying, hey, the Northeast we just had the record coldest CNN's look, Google CNN and coldest air temperatures, and you'll pop up 2019, 22, 23, all of this stuff. So global warming is not what's happening. Some are going to argue the global warming's creating cold air. Say that a couple times and try to chew on that and digest that, because that's insane. I just heard a weather guy who I respect. He does good scientific data. I just heard him say that. That the planet warming is going to create... It was snowing in August in California yesterday. The Sierra Nevadas. So I know there's a hot pocket. I see all the radar. I see it all. Those two things colliding is why all the tornado guys are out doing their 24 hours, like this guy I'm talking about. They're all out in full force because you've got the heat there, but this cold has dropped down from Siberia, technically. It's a Siberian cold that was pushed down. And global warming is not creating the coldest temperatures on Earth. None of the things that they said global warming was going to do. Al Gore leading the way like a total douchebag. Just a douchebag. Everything he said, he knew there wasn't any scientific data, and he was mocking everybody that was fighting or resisting it. And most people believed the shit. It's a very small minority of folks that were pushing back against that. It was so prevalent that it actually indoctrinated into the fossil fuel companies, and they came up with what's called greenwashing to create this advertising and outreach that they're doing something green. You can't blame them for trying, but that's what the campaigns did, was a greenwashing of the corporate fossil fuel source. Now, one could say, oh, you mentioned Alaska and profit sharing, and it looked like socialism in Alaska. That's not happening in the rest of the country. Well, it could. It could. Why don't we have some sort of American? Some sort of where it goes straight into paying off the debt, goes straight into the revenue goes off paying it, and you got profit sharing that can come out of that general fund. Dude, you're talking about socialism. No, I'm talking about free market, taking care of our people that need some help, still having corporations make their portions more than they're going to have a little extra just from the nature of those guys. I'm not saying about changing it completely into the structure of communist or socialism. I'm talking about one thing, and I'm using Alaska, our own state, the Alaskan Petroleum Reserve Act, profit sharing. Talking about oil reserve profit sharing, and we can get the debt down. It's something to think about. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of people who go, this commie Marxist son of a bitch, I knew that guy in Portland. I knew he was going to start talking commie shit. I'm not talking commie shit. I loathe communism. I'm talking about one item, and I'm talking about domestic fuel. So we don't need to be relying on Wahhabis that are beheading their women in the streets. We don't need to be dealing with Russia. We don't have to be dealing with all this fucking trauma, these goddamn blowing up pipelines to try to take control of energy sources. We don't need that shit. We got everything that we need right here. We don't need to be fucking around with any of that stuff instigating world war. That's a small group of intelligence agencies. You know who they are. They're doing that on purpose. And it really isn't even for the fuel. It's about global control, in my opinion. But anyway, 25 minutes. I guess I'll have to upload this one on YouTube. So there's data out there. There's not enough studies. We could use some more studies, but what they're claiming is actually mental health and problems with the youth from the climate change. I argue and push back that that's actually from the programming and the fear and the psychological damage that you're doing to the youth, telling them that they're going to be dead. Now, we can still create stewards. We can still have AmeriCorps programs, which is actually what Biden, they Rep AOC effed that one up again, trying to frame it as only for the climate. AmeriCorps is always about doing community-based, environmental type of focused things. I did that for a year when it first came out, 95, 96, 97, somewhere in there. It's an awesome program. It doesn't have to be called climate conservation. It doesn't have to be framed like that they want it to do. It's already existing and it needs beefed up funding. You've got jobs for the youth and you also got them active participating. I was even trained to get a red card to fight fire. So you could actually even train these through AmeriCorps funding. You can train folks into these different programs as they're in there for the year, as they're collecting a very, very small stipend allowance. They're not employees. You skirt around the employee and all of that dynamics, taxes and all the rest of it by saying they're volunteers. Here's your stipend allowance. I think it's how the Peace Corps works as well. But you can still do those things and talk about invasive species and talking about stocking the lakes with fish. All of these things that happen in Oregon and around the country for the environment. It doesn't have to be, whoop, I lost the computer. It doesn't have to be this cow fart mandate. You're all going to FEMA camps. You're going to live in these 15-minute cities or we're going to kill you. It doesn't have to be like that. We can rally against and push back against this World Economic Forum. Fuck these people. We're talking about programs that helps America, revenue producers, profit sharing for America, for our people, to get the debt down. That makes us stronger as a whole against these attacks from these globalists. These guys are going to be going hard for a long time. That should be obvious. You don't have to be Alex Jones to know that, although he's speaking it and has been for years. There's an agenda here. You don't just flood in a bunch of military-age men, millions and millions and millions, unless you've got a plan. Biden's been flying in Afghanistan refugees, hundreds of thousands, for years. And not only that, they've got plans to fly in a whole bunch of other folks that really haven't been properly screened. I mean, it almost looks kind of like a Muslim Brotherhood type of family reunion, if you will. And things are going to get dicey. Now, I keep having these dreams of small airplanes going into buildings. Now, it could just be PTSD from all the shit that's been going on. Maybe it's more of like the drone warfare. I keep seeing these little drones and swarms of drones. Maybe that's affected kind of my perceptions. But I actually specifically believe that there is some sort of 9/11 LARPing, a live action role play, kind of like a sequel in the works. I mean, mainstream media is actually spitting stuff out and programming saying Osama bin Laden, OBL's Osama bin Laden's sons are very angry and they're ready to strike and there's intelligence is saying they're coming. Okay, what does that mean? So that's explosives. We're going to have buildings come down. Is there going to be small planes coming down with them too as the angry sons of the assassinated Osama bin Laden, if you believe that's how he died? I think he was on a liver dialysis for years and probably died that way. But let's just say that he was assassinated. Now his sons are angry and they're coming, right? That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. So, you know, bottom line, if we're going to take care of the youth, we've got to address the mental health. I didn't even get into the pew, 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 pew. But that is a direct mental health crisis in itself. I wouldn't be surprised if the people that do come in blazing on suicide runs and shooting up in schools and elsewhere haven't been programmed to believe that everything's going to be gone in just a few years because CO2, cow farts, dinosaur farts, all the rest are going to kill us all. So it's all over anyways, right? You're depressed. All the youth are hopped up on psychotropics. The parents that are taking them in on this shit? Come on, guys. Jesus. It's a big part of the problem. Anyway, 30 minutes, closing out. Peace out.